Hello and happy Sunday or Monday or whatever day you're watching this. I just wanted to welcome you to week 2 of educational psychology. And as you can see, you get my face on the webcam in addition to the screenshot today. I'll make this video a little bit shorter, and please know that I might make mistakes, but I feel that it's necessary to kind of get some FaceTime with you guys every week. Even though I definitely hate listening to myself on video or microphone, but I do like, again, getting some quote-unquote FaceTime with you. I use Screencast-O-Matic, which is a free tool that you can use, and you will be doing a project where you're going to use Screencast-O-Matic. So you might want to search for that and pull it up. I think I have the website right here I can show you. As you can see, I just hit Launch Free Recorder, and it pulls up some tools, and you can, again, just record yourself and your screen, or just your screen, or just yourself. So thinking about week 2 in educational psychology, last week we talked about effective teachers and just very generally what are effective teachers according to some of the research. And your assignment was to talk about a teacher in particular that you think of who is effective or who was effective for you growing up. I think you can also think of counterexamples to that as well. People that you didn't like who weren't good teachers growing up, and now you can kind of begin to see why. They might have not exhibited some of the qualities that were listed here and below. For example, they might have lacked the motivation and compassion and caring, or they might have not had professionalism. They also might not have really cared about what they were doing and didn't have the passion for their subject or the students when they were teaching. So I haven't read your responses yet because I have only 4 people have submitted as of this recording, but I look forward to giving you guys some feedback on that. Let's move to this week. We're going to be reading about some very intricate psychologists, notably Piaget and Vygotsky. And so while this isn't a memorization class and you're not going to want to regurgitate these facts, these 2 thinkers were very instrumental to the way that we think about children and kids and development. And specifically, you'll look at the adolescent development portions of these 2 theories, but it's really helpful just in general to know who these people were. Piaget, you're going to look at his 4 different stages. The 2 last stages are the ones that the 6, 9, and 9, 12 teachers will really focus on. And then for Vygotsky, he talked a lot about scaffolding and the idea of zone of proximal development. And I love talking about the zone of proximal development. There's a little image. If we go to the Moodle, I put an image of it, and there's plenty of images in your book as well. But this idea of the right spot where learning can take place when it's not too hard and it's not too easy. If it's too hard and students are having a difficult time and they haven't had enough scaffolding, they could be stressed and no learning takes place. If things are too easy, we know that students get bored and they drift off and they don't really move anywhere in terms of their learning. So it's very interesting to think about. As I was rereading this, I thought I needed to reiterate that these are both just theories and frameworks. They don't always apply. You'll actually read criticisms of these 2 theorists, but they're a good rule of thumb when you're thinking about your students as individuals and how they develop. It's also really important not to make overgeneralizations about our students. Again, each of them are individuals and they come to us as they are. And many things might have influenced them over the years. It could be things at home, in their community, in their culture, siblings, parents, other teachers, just who they are and their own personalities. So this kind of psychological development and brain development is only one piece of the pie. But it's still kind of important to have a nice working knowledge of that as a teacher. In the future, we're going to talk more about socio-emotional learning and how students develop emotionally and socially impacts those things. So we're going to talk a lot about all these issues within education. But what's most important is how do we make ourselves better teachers by having some of these theories in our tool belt, if you will. Your assignment for this week, if you're looking at the Moodle, is to read chapter 2. You watch this video. I did include another YouTube video of a gentleman, Mark Dixon. It's short. It's about the zone of proximal development. If you're interested, it might just give you a little more insight, or sometimes people need visuals and audios to go along with their learning. And then please complete assignment number 2, which it's hard to see because mine is hidden, but it will be these 3 questions. You're going to summarize the major contributions developed by Piaget and then by Vygotsky. And then you're going to define what the ZPD is and why it's important to teaching. And then you get to actually apply this to a concept you teach or would like to teach. And how would you use the idea of scaffolding, which you're going to read about, to make this more, drive this concept home for students. You can look at page 53 for inspiration. One of the most common ways that we scaffold learning, especially of more difficult concepts for students, is by doing doing it with them together the first time, maybe like a mathematics problem, before you give them independent practice. You model, you do it together, and then you circulate and make sure students are doing it okay on their own. And then you go back and remediate where you might need to address concerns. So just doing examples together or offering students a problem that you did on your own so they can look at it is usually a great place to start. I did include this image of scaffolding because I think it's a great way to kind of picture what we're doing for students. We're helping them build the building with scaffolding. And as you know, with construction, once the building is secure and the foundation is laid, I am not an architect, so I don't know when they take the scaffolding away. But when those things are met, then you can, as teachers, we can begin to take the scaffolding away. The hand holding, stop holding their hands and doing it for them, and making them become the independent learners once they've grasped that concept. And every student is going to be very different. And in the future course, we're going to talk a little bit about differentiation and how do we meet the needs of individual students that might be progressing at different paces. So this went for almost 8 minutes. I apologize. Again, I get talking, I'm very passionate. Thank you so much for doing your assignments. The next assignment is going to probably be a group discussion board. So be on the lookout for that so you can kind of get to know some of your peers and read their work as well. So have a great week, and please email me or contact me if you have any questions. Take care.